Hey, hey!
Hello, Mike.
Welcome to the show, Grace.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us on this Sunday afternoon. I understand you have a busy day ahead of you.
Yeah, Sunday fun day, kind of like relax super hard and get prepped for the rest of the week.
Sounds good to me. I've been waiting since Friday to open this. This
Yeah,
is
I
your
can't believe it.
this is your debut EP, Landings.
Yes.
And why cassette? Why did you decide to go
Ooh.
cassette?
I think a few things. Also, hello, Mr. X. I have some of my Twitch friends popping over in chat. A few things, mostly like I definitely like as much as I love DAWs and software effects and living in the digital world. I really love analog, and I use a lot of cassette sampling in my own work. And it's for that reason, like cassette's really great because you have it in front of you. You can record your own stuff right on top of it. You can edit it, you can splice it, you can make little mixes, you can send it to people. If you're playing it on like a portable player, you can shake it and you adjust the tape speed for a different listening experience. But I think when I was debating between like CD, tape, and vinyl, budget wise, cassette was the most friendly. And
Really?
I think Oh yeah. Like a cassette run, I want to say like if you do a vinyl run, you have to do at minimum 200,
Okay.
copies. And that already starts it at like $3,000. So for an independent musician like myself, it's just not feasible without any sort of grant or something like that to kind of help adjust those costs. So and like CD, I love it, but I'm like, I really wanted something that was an art object in a sense.
Yeah.
Like played on that nostalgia bit because we are talking about the space age. So when I was doing the Kickstarter to fund the release of Landings, I was like, I could go CD, but I want to go cassette first and see where it goes from there.
Well, let's see what this art object looks like because I've been really excited. And another thing is you mentioned, sending cassettes to people. Guys my age remember this sound of sending tapes to people in the mail, and you get the tape, and that's how it sounds. So here we go. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. Oh, there's even a hand-drawn note. Look at that.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Look at that. Hand-drawn art. Thank you for your generous enthusiastic support of Landings, without which the CP would never see the light of day. Hope you enjoy this spacey cassette. Okay, so this is why I was thinking about buying a second copy, because this is hand-wrapped in silver foil.
It is.
And I'm going to try to open this as carefully. You know what? There's no hope. There's no hope. I'm not going to be able to get this open.
I mean, that kind of is the
No.
hope. Just well, because for me, when I was debating packaging it, I was like, I could make it so that the sticker's on the side that has no line on it. But I'm like, the line just makes it easier to stick your finger in there and rip it.
We're just going to have to rip it. And this is why. And I encourage everybody to check her out at Bandcamp there. If you want a copy of this yourself, we were discussing earlier, there are copies left. So I'm buying a second copy because I'm going to tear open look at that. Like, this is just cool. Like, this is the kind of thing that you don't get buying a mainstream release. And there's the cassette. And it has more inside that I didn't expect.
The sticker,
it has a spaceman sticker. There we go. Because this is about the moon landing. This is about Apollo 11.
Yes.
And look at this. Look at that.
It's silver.
Look at that. And with the title printed on there, we discussed earlier, might need gloves to handle this. So
it's funny. Yeah, it's funny when I got the test tape. That's the first thing I noticed because it didn't have any art on it. But I was like, you put a thumbprint on it, and it immediately is there. So it kind of.
We're prepared here with my.
Oh my god.
We're prepared. So look at this, folks. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? Now, tell me about the chrome plating thing here, because I've never seen a cassette that looks like this before in my life.
Well, you know how it is. Like I use duplication.ca, which is an analog tape company out of Toronto, actually. They're like, I was able to drive and pick up my cassettes. That's how close they were to me.
Cool.
But when I was looking at their order form, when I was kind of writing up the Kickstarter and trying to figure out like what the budget was for this, I was looking at all the options. There's like glitter, this and that. Oh, yeah, the little moon.
This is terrific.
Glitter, all these other options, and it was just like one of them was like platinum chrome. I clicked it and I was just like, this is the most expensive option, but I love it. it definitely like for me, like the cassettes themselves cost, I think $14.96 to produce. I sell them at 15 because I'm just selling them at cost because I want people to have them. But I saw that and I was like, I could go for the cheap option and, but I really, like I said, I wanted it to be like an object of art, something that people can really enjoy and like get that excitement, like that same excitement that I have about space and space exploration and things like that. So I saw that metallic shine and I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. Really, really.
That had a lot to do with me going with this as well. Look at that.
Yeah.
So I understand there are bonus tracks on this that are not available with the standard download that I received earlier.
Yes. So the entire B side is mixed and mastered. Well, the side A and side B is mixed and mastered by Jojo Worthington, who is a KW, originally from KW musician, indie singer songwriter. And for the B side, because like I really didn't want people to have to flip the tape halfway through Landings because it really was like from start to finish. It's a gapless EP. I put gaps in it for streaming for digital enjoyment, but the whole EP really is meant to just be a straight shot. So the thought of like people having to like and then have to flip it over, I wasn't super into that idea. So what I did instead is JoJo mixed and mastered some unreleased and an unedited kind of improv tracks that I've had over the past couple of years.
Ooh.
And kind of put them on the B side as kind of a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of a different listening experience. Because on one side you have space, and the other side it's very like I think experimental in some aspects, but very ambient, tonal. There's like a whole like 12-minute organ piece on it.
Wow.
So I was excited to like add that little extra, I don't know, just that little extra like fun little bit because everyone likes the side B, like the secret side B.
We are at this program, we are all physical music product guys, and if there's a bonus track on something, the guys know this is what I go for. Yeah. So side B, all bonus material, I'm on board. But side A, the spacey side, like look at your background and everything.
I know. I had to come prepped. I had to come
like
prepped.
This is really wicked. I was just listening to the Gap version earlier, but like it really does paint a picture and it really does feel like a journey. Okay. And if you were putting this on for a layman and they had no idea that this was harp, I don't think that's the first thing that they would shout out when they play it.
Totally. I like when I was pitching for playlisting and for radio, a lot of the feedback I would get is like, oh, I love the cello, or oh, I love the synth, or like, oh, I love this or that. And I had to tell people like, no, this is all solo harp and electronics. Like I'm bowing my harp, I'm putting electronic effects on it, I'm looping it. All of what you're hearing is just me and the harp in a room together having a ball, essentially.
That is awesome. That's a great way to put it too. And it is a ball. I enjoyed listening to this. I noticed though, when I was just doing my research here, and I noticed the gapless version appears to be longer than the gapped version, which I didn't expect. I expected it to be the other way around. So is it like more, there's transitional bits between the main tracks on the gapless?
So I think it's if it's helpful to explain the recording process, it might make the gapless album and then the gapped album a bit more sensical. So Landings was actually the second take of two takes essentially, where I improvised this piece from start to finish.
Wow.
So it was recorded as a straight shot. And when I approach, kind of doing these really longer improvised works, I'll build a structure in my head of like, okay, at this point, I want to use this sample. At this point, I use that sample. Like, here's the journey of the samples because they do follow the Apollo 11 kind of the mission from start to finish, including some interviews at the end with people who were present at the moon landings and reflecting on their childhood experience, which I thought was fun.
That was great.
But it definitely like between like some of the motifs that I used and then just kind of leaving space for that journey, it really was just a straight shot from start to finish. So when it came to for me wanting to release it and wanting to put it on platforms like Spotify or Bandcamp and have people have that like digital streaming experience, there was like the more business side of my brain that's like, okay, like I have to cut this into sensical parts so that people can add it to the playlist, share it with their friends, and it's not like a, "Hey, listen to this 20-minute thing." It's more of a, "Hey, here's a 2-minute thing. Do you like it? And if so, there's more." But I did still want to keep that gapless listening experience for the fans and for people who really just did want to sit and listen to it start to finish. But definitely with some of the fade ins and fade outs in the cutting process, a few seconds, 20 or so seconds, I think, got kind of axed on the floor, that were kept in that gapless album because they are kind of that transitional piece where the loop goes a bit longer than you think, or the sample, that I use. I have like a cassette sample that I use halfway through it. That's that, and it's a programming cassette for a computer, um,
Okay.
which is why it has like nonsensical sounds. But that definitely goes a lot longer in the gapless album than it does in the
Gotcha.
kind of cut album.
Because we nerds, we want to know these things.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that you do get the both listening options. I was listening to the gapless primarily this week, but
Mhm.
then just getting ready to do this, I only had a few minutes, so I was picking and choosing tracks to listen to. Pomposity is the one that's getting the airplay right now. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the one when I was like, look, because like, like from my end, I have to think of like, okay, what's the single? What do I think is the invitation? And it's funny because like I flip flop between surface operations, the first piece, and pomposity, just because I was so used to like this thing starts at the beginning and it goes till the end. But when I was thinking about like what's a bit more approachable to like the non-Grace Harpset, non-Grace Scheele listener, pomposity for me was, I think, the piece that really started with a melody, started with something tangible for people to hold on to, had some of the samples, and had a lot of like hints of the sound that was before and after. So I think that's why I chose it to be kind of the one that I was pitching for radio and for airplay and things like that.
And it seems to be working. I saw Eric Alper posted about it. He's a pretty big name.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of
No,
respect there.
yeah. No, it's wild. I think for me the thing is too is like I do harp electronics music that ranges from experimental to noise to ambient. And I think for me like realizing that like the audience for that is so varied.
Yeah.
And like people like Eric Alper picking it up too, where it's just like, I just think I make weird harp space music, and it's really cool to see that there's such a good response to it.
I hope some of my viewers like weird harp space music, because I certainly do. It is called Landings. There it is again. And I love, love, love that simplistic art there. It's just striking. The whole package. I love the black paper.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a brilliant design. I'm going to touch the cassette with my fingers very carefully. There's the cassette again, Landings, with the bonus tracks on side B. So you can get this at Bandcamp right down there. And I'm going to be ordering a second copy.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you said you were going to be live streaming on Twitch later on this afternoon or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
around either 4 or 5 o'clock, depending on just how my day goes. We're going to be live on Twitch. We're circuit bending this toy. Oh, you can't see it. This toy harpist.
Okay.
She's got a button. She plays Christmas music. She kind of disappears a little bit. You get the idea, but I really want to put some knobs in that and really distort it. It's like the hands just go up and down.
Are you serious? That is what you're doing this afternoon? You're going
Yeah,
to
we're,
turn
we're
that.
gonna circuit bend. I might I'm thinking about repainting it, or at least the base too. But I really want to because it's creepy as all get out. I'm trying to zoom in here.
There we go. Look at that.
Creepy as all get out. So I was like, there's nothing better than taking this little innocuous Christmas ornament thing, that has it has a button, and then you hit it and it just does that Christmas tune thing.
I would love to see that with Bowie makeup. Paint
some-
the face with Bowie makeup. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, yeah, or just make the hair flaming red or something like
Or
that.
something like that. Okay, so let them know your socials so they can follow you there.
I'm at Grace Harps It. Just think Grace Harps It, and you'll find me across all of the platforms.
There you
I
go.
think on YouTube I can post my username. Grace Harps It. And then on YouTube I'm Grace Scheele. You can just follow me through clicking on one of my comments and hitting subscribe. But at Grace Harps It or gracescheele.com, and you'll find all my links from there.
And then I would suggest you go down there and you buy 2 cassettes so that you don't have to do what I just did here, and you can have a nice sealed one, just as the artist intended.
Just
Well,
as the artist intended.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to hear the bonus tracks. Oh, there's the, there we go.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
There we go, right there. So thank you so much for joining us. I will be, I've already reviewed the primary album. I'm going to be reviewing the bonus tracks at some point.
Oh, no way. Oh, I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Excellent. Will you have a good day with that bizarre Christmas harpist that you're going to hack into? So check her out today on Twitch. And thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Mike. Have a good one.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye. Wrong theme song. There we go. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Friday night, we're rocking the races. Come and see familiar faces. Uncle Meat, Rob Daniels, Jon Snow. Gibby's here, it's the place to go. Grab a star of rock with Mike and the Mad Metal Man. Grab a star of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Keyboard's here, it's time for a party. And Chris has got the comments started. Grab a star of rock with Mike and the Mad Metal Man. Grab a star of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a star of rock. Grab a star.